Welcome back to the most professional Starcraft 2, a best of 5 in the IEM Katowice Starcraft 2 World Championships. Let me introduce the most Terran in all of Starcraft 2. It is Micro Jackson ByuN up against the greatest challenger he probably could ever face. The #1 rated Zerg and Zerg versus Terran player in the entire world. It is the finisher, Serral. These two had the most dramatic, top-tier SC2 series I've ever seen just a couple months ago. And, well, I'm truly hoping that this World Championship playoffs match ends up in such a dramatic level of clickbait, it will be incredibly hard to live up to that standard. Serral, while he's faltered somewhat against other Zergs, as we know, ZVZ is an inside job, is Zerg versus Terran and Pro, essentially non-Zergs, crumble before him. But already ByuN, you can't just go Marines. He just goes Marines. We're starting off with 2 medevacs of Marines. I believe he went CC first, so it's a CC first in the 2-1-1, so a bit more economical than the classic 1-Rax expand version, but at the end of the day, ByuN's going to be kicking off the series the only way he wants to. I would have said knows how, but he knows plenty of ways. He just chooses to ignore them. Well, so 2 medevacs and a whole bunch of Stim Marines. And the efficiency of those medevacs is very much micro-dependent. Your average StarCraft 2 viewer who played, I don't know, a couple years ago, or generously 10 years ago, looks on that medevac micro today like, if I put the time in, if I put in the practice, then I could break my wrists and still not even be close. But that's why we're here. That's why you like and subscribe to these series, to these videos, so just like me, you can pretend to be somewhat close to the best StarCraft players in the world and enjoy some great games for the fans. Well, better get that done quickly. Like and subscribe because the first 2 medevacs are coming out. ByuN boldly sends his Marines out to the center of the map, knowing that it's unlikely Serral will have enough Zerglings to contest them because every Zergling, every set of Lings you build is another drone you didn't. So, the top Zergs, especially Serral, who's more of a defensive, just macro player, will try to absorb as many hits as possible while maximizing the economy. And then when they finally strike back, aside from any smaller counterattacks, it's overwhelming and deadly. And it looks like Serral starting off in his typical manner of just massing up the queens and adding on the drones. And here comes ByuN in his typical manner of a whole bunch of Marines. Ah, yes. The whole knitting crew with a perfect concave on the top of the ramp. The Queen Moot as they gather. No, we're not playing on Royal Blood yet, so I expect them to be alright for now. 3 more racks on the way. Already 1-1 started. Serral getting 1 evolution chamber. Baneling speed is the first major upgrade. ByuN picks up all the Marines he can fit. Gonna start working around the edges of the creep. Always important to keep control of, but does he drop here or does he head to the main? Boost it. No creep on the edge of the base. Already drop it out. Here we go. ByuN doing what he does best. Almost be unstoppable, be unbreakable, be unyielding. But it looks like a handful of Banes will be enough to push him back for now. Third base on the way. 4th base, though. 4th hatchery for Serral. Marines push back, but a couple creep tumors. Already setting up the pseudo wall here at the 3rd. Something to delay Banelings, not stop them entirely. Drop into the main. Targets down a few drones. ByuN losing a few more Marines than he probably needed to there. Gets foot. Oh, come on. But the Zerglings leave, and the Marines just drop right back out, because if you don't kill the medevacs, well, There's nothing to really stop them there. Well, down goes a medevac full of Marines. Well, whatever the survivors were. The second medevac as well. So far, ByuN a little rough around the edges. His economy's fine. Something was canceled in the main, but there's a Hydralisk den on the way. I don't know if he was thinking about an infestation pit already. Does Serral have one? No. He's getting 1-1. ByuN finished his armory. He's already got +1/+1 infantry weapons and armor. And starts with +2 armor. No, okay, he fills it in. Actually prioritizing very slightly the armor upgrades. Interesting. Queen still pushing the creep, only about halfway across the map. ByuN been quite diligent about dealing with it. The Hydralisk, the backstop, the anti-air capability, as well as range DPS that kind of replaces the Queens as time goes on, and the damage output of the armies just gets far too high. ByuN still gonna sit on the edge of the creep, but the edge just keeps getting a little bit closer as he just doesn't have enough Marines to deal with this army. Just little mistakes here. The ByuN we've been seeing online, and maybe that's a factor, has not been making these sort of mistakes. He's lost several medevacs. I mean, it's Serral. It's literally the hardest Zerg opponent you could face, if not in general. So, and ByuN is... He targets down 2 out of 3 banelings. Yeah, it's weird to say he only got 2 out of 3 targeted and got out, but that isn't that bleeding edge of precision we're used to seeing. I'm a little stressed out right now, as obviously one of the top. I'm gonna put myself in the top 20 ByuN fanboys. As pretty much at some point, at least half of my channel content being related to ByuN games, as he plays so much. But Serral here might not play as much online, but he's showing that doesn't mean he doesn't practice. As plenty of drones out already. 81. He's got 183 supply. The only thing we're missing is an infestation pit. He agrees. Starts it up. Hydralisk speed is on the way as well. That's going to fill in essentially the rest of the upgrades. ByuN is nearly maxed. He's getting 2-2. But he does have just this M&M and M&M Marine Mine Marauder Medevac army. And that is something that Lingbane Hydra can deal with if they can pin it down. A few Widow Mines on the back line, looking for connections. Actually hit more of the Terran army than they hit the Zerg, as Serral deals with the minefield relatively easily. Drop towards the top, gonna clear up the creep towards the north side. 2-2 finishing up. ByuN needs to start getting some momentum because Serral inexorably is moving across the map. Hydra speed not quite done. He's able to snipe off a few of the Hydras caught. A bit of an awkward pathing on the low ground there. Concussive shells is completed for the Marauders. Hive starts for Serral. 10-minute mark, almost exactly. 4th base being taken. ByuN not nearly at that point where he doesn't have the mass orbital, he doesn't have the ghosts, he doesn't have the tanks. It is just a mid-game army, so he has to be careful with it and careful to maintain enough of it that he doesn't get run over back at home. Moving into a bit of an awkward position, though he's cleared the creep. He's been very diligent about clearing the creep to the north side and now going to use that as an attack angle. He also has medevacs that can potentially threaten the main. Zerglings and banelings, some of them wrapping around the backside. Marines stim behind the Marauders. The Marauders absorbing a lot of the baneling hits. Not enough Hydras to really cut through them. Lingbane counterattack cuts off some of the reinforcements, but still close to 200 supply. ByuN picks up into the medevacs, and of course, he heads towards the main. A small group of units still maintaining 4th base. Zerglings come in. A whole lot of banelings behind them. SCV's vulnerable. Banelings rolling in. Drop is in the main simultaneously, like 50 supply of Terran there. Hydras, Lings, and Banes looking to defend the heart of the swarm right now, and will do so with minimal losses. But another drop at the 4th base. Serral desperate to keep up, but his units and his queens, much to their dismay, do not fly. 15 SCVs down. ByuN has consolidated his army. He's taken a supply lead. He's at 172 to 160. And look at the army value difference. But Serral is able to get... Almost got a full medevac there right at the end. Serral still at 82 drones, despite dipping slightly. A drop in the main. Those medevacs nearly out of energy, and some of them close to out of HP, but looking to combine with the army at the 4th base. Looking for more. Widow Mines don't find much. In fact, splash over the Terran army. Oh no, Widow Mines killing medevacs. ByuN took out 2 medevacs and 7 Marines in this last fight. Of course, that Pales in comparison to what Serral managed to do. 200 Zerglings. Overall, a decent trade for ByuN, but a trade assumes they're even on economy. If they're both at 100% economy, well then the trade goes to whoever is more efficient. But very simply right now, Serral has a better economy and more map control, so you need to be more efficient just to stay even. And right now, ByuN, I think, accomplished that. But very key, no ghosts on the way. No big tank or mech switch. He doesn't really have the resources to make that big switch to the ultra late game. And Serral is not bothering with silly things like lurkers. He doesn't even have any Vipers, I don't think. He's just Hydra, Ling, Bane, with 6-7 hatcheries with the Hive. And very focused on staying maxed out and essentially throwing his supply around to keep ByuN from reaching a critical mass. 2 Vipers on the way. That means Serral finally looking to get some aggression. He doesn't need the Vipers really defensively as long as he has creep where he needs it. But the Vipers are what allow you to break into those more entrenched positions. Main base still has some Lings and Banes. ByuN getting deflected on multiple sides here. Still a whole lot of M&M. Mines, Marines, Marauders. But the Hydras are really starting to add up. The Hydra count getting quite intimidating. Baneling's morphing a timer on this attack, and he's on creep as well, so not too much time to react. 68 more Zerglings in production. Serral not dipping below 200 supply. It is just not... Widow Mine's finding small victories, but so far they've been a bit of a mixed bag. There's the Ghost Academy for ByuN, but it just... Oh, he loses him! Who's the full medevac? +3 Carapace coming in for Serral. Baneling's hit by a Widow Mine, but it takes 2 Widow Mines in turn. ByuN trying to deal with this creep, but he has to go backwards in order to clear it, which is not a good sign. Handful of Zerglings. Small army chasing them from ByuN. So far, I don't think ByuN has killed a single hatchery. No hatcheries, which is not a good trend to continue. As Serral has been comfortably mining. He's at 92 drones now, which is borderline too many. Because you don't want to be left with too little army supply to actually fight outright. Oh, the Vipers, though, being caught. Blinding Cloud will save the second, maybe. But bit sloppy there on the Viper control, I think, Serral. Not realizing where he sent them out. Almost intercepted on the way back, but near full energy Viper. Scan, spots the army, but still... It's just Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, and Mines. That are a known quantity. And Serral knows how to beat them. Handful of Banelings. Might as well just get the Widow Mines there. The rest of the army on the high ground. Where's the Viper? In fact, Serral a little supply blocked awkwardly here. ByuN looking the other way. As, well, there's obviously other priorities here. Widow Mine's not finding too much. ByuN already dipping heavily in supply with that first attack. Parasitic Bomb finds the Medevacs. Force back. Marauders not absorbing enough of the damage to keep too many Marines alive. It's just Hydras left over. And as soon as the attack ends, Serral's back up to 185. Is he out of larva? He has 12 larva. Fills in the rest. Bunch of lurkers on the way. Essentially, Serral was waiting for this moment. He's waiting until ByuN is playing defensively, so that way he can get full control of the game with the lurkers. Well, ByuN picks up. He's going to catch some of the lurkers. They're revealed here, which is probably the best case scenario, but defensively, lurkers are just not ideal. Even though it seems like they're a defensive unit, they can be out-microed, they can be picked apart, they can be sniped. But on offense, when ByuN doesn't have the time to set up those concaves and that attack, if the lurkers are able to get next to his base, you're on the clock. And sometimes time runs out a little too quick. So diffusing the mines here, essentially. A few Zerglings to clear the Widow Mines is a small price to pay, especially considering the amount of minerals he has to draw on. 3 more command centers. ByuN has survived. He's kept himself going. He's stayed aggressive, even if he hasn't found a lot of success. Serral's lost 5,000 more minerals, 1,000 more gas. Rookie numbers there in terms of the difference, but Nidus is on the way. few ghosts on the front here. They're all chasing, but if he backs off too far, then the Hydras get strung out. Meanwhile, though, ByuN looking over to the right of the few Zerglings, and that means the Banelings are able to delete the planetary fortress. Yes, there are more command centers, but you actually need the mining locations. The Ghost caught in front. The medevac shot down. The Widow Mines unburrowed. And Serral just keeping ByuN too busy to focus on any of these attacks. They're 495 APM almost exactly, both of them. Which is actually kind of insane, ByuN's APM, because considering how many Zerglings and Banelings just straight up Serral is building. So we're approaching that 500 mark. This army, surprisingly devoid of Marines. He's mostly replaced them with Ghosts. Then again, I've joked semi-seriously that ByuN just considers every unit a Marine in a different form. And right now, kind of proving that, as he just throws them in slightly behind the Marauders, throws out some snipes, Parasitic Bomb comes out, quarantines the medevacs, more Banelings from the south side, Serral is everywhere. ByuN down to 130 supplies. Guy, he just lost 17 SCVs. There were Burrowedlings, 84 more Zerglings. 90. He fills in the rest. Some snipes line up, but for every 50 Zerglings you kill, it feels like 100 replace them. A true Zerg game so far. There are some Infestors. Oh no, burrowed Infestors. I don't think he's seen any of them. This is the extra progression on top of the Vipers. The Infestors to get a fungal to potentially close it out. Where are they? I saw them. They're somewhere. Where are those? Oh, fungal! And the Widow Mines connect. Wombo combo and 2 Gs follow it up. A decisive victory for Serral in game 1. ByuN didn't look perfect, but Serral, on the other hand, if you asked me to point out a mistake from maybe when he lost that one Viper. Yeah, he lost that Viper. What a noob. But just a little bit too much at every angle. I don't know. Like, ByuN has a history of warming up in the series. That was game 1. I believe, hopefully, he can turn it around. Right now, Serral just looking that slight edge better. Which, especially in these longer macro games, just adds up. The most notable thing for me was how long he stayed on the M-flavored composition. The Biomedevac mine. Usually, in the best games we see, like in the games where the Terran feels like they have the most initiative, you see a transition into the late game mech, or maybe more Liberators as well. You stop relying on inherently unreliable units, like the Widow Mine. Is that pool first against Command Center? ByuN going Command Center first again, because that's just how ByuN do. I think Serral's expecting Reapers. ByuN's been known to do that, but I mean, the man who got the Reaper's nerf, but on seeing it's a Command Center first, it's interesting. I'm not exactly sure what to expect. I feel almost everything Serral does is defensive, even his attacks. They just fall under the best defense is a good offense school of thought. As you saw there, that was just a masterclass of how to pick apart a Terran. The small Zergling counterattacks, the little details of where he positions his queens. ByuN just couldn't get anything started. And eventually the momentum became too great. The crazy thing is, and that's how you know it's a true defensive game. ByuN didn't tap out when he lost units on his side of the map. He tapped out after he lost an attacking army. That is when you're like true and clearly beaten. He just knew that was it. And I agree, like, it wasn't early by any means. Clearly Serral could come across the map and kill him. But that's just an example of kind of how the game went. Okay, so 2 Zerglings, 1 Marine. SCV gets involved. And that's enough. What an intense action sequence that was. Not the one we're used to seeing. No Reaper flirting with a handful of Zerglings on the other side of the map for 30 seconds until they both go their separate ways. Wow, Serral actually goes for the Roach one here. Now, is this a Roach all in? He's making 6 more drones. He still only has 1 gas. No. This looks like make a handful just to block out the Hellions. Quickly becoming more popular style. And just have the option for... It also... Terran players will see it, and just seeing Roaches gives you a reaction. I'll tell you, I'm 1/3 Terran myself. Some of my best friends are Terran, so... Just seeing Roaches, you're me like, this cheesy Zerg, he doesn't know how to play macro, and then you realize you're playing Serral, so... Oh, there are 9 Roaches on the way. But this is just more than enough to slap down any sort of aggression. And what did Serral see? He saw... Well, now he knows there's a Viking. He saw a tech-labbed barracks upgrading. He can do the math on this one. This is some sort of early, probably Hellbat Marauder shenanigans. As clearly there was the factory on the reactor. He saw the reactor earlier. And now the Roaches have kind of preempted all of it. So... ByuN canceled his armory on seeing the Roaches. It only had a couple seconds left. I don't even know if that was a great idea, as you can't heal Hellions. At least not with a medevac, but clearly wanted whatever he could get. Serral, slight split. Bit of micro. You can technically out-micro the Roaches, unless they're in melee range, which... Okay, Serral. Oh, this was terrible. Yeah, you know what? He was right. The armory was useless. Wow. I'm kind of surprised he went up the ramp on seeing those Marauders. So Serral just loses everything. He kills 4 health. Wow. Well, that's certainly... I think ByuN regretting the lack of armory at this point. As if he had Hellbats, this could be a potentially game-ending attack. Serral builds up the Roaches. Here's the thing. I'm taking a page out of ByuN's book, where the best defense is a good offense. Behind that, Serral's up to 58 drones. As long as he just defends here, and doesn't take significant damage. ByuN didn't have a quick 3rd CC. He did have the command center first, but he didn't have the quick 3rd CC. I believe he has one in his main right now. He just finished it up. But Serral should be alright to hold on until lair tech now. And we'll have the economy. Oh. We'll have the economy to essentially go whatever direction he wants. I expect we go back into Hydraling Bane. The Roaches were mostly the early game option, just to mix it up here and counter the Hellions. Essentially preempting the Hellbat attack is what he did. Liberator sneaking around that right side. Spore Crawler already in position to deal with exactly that. The ultimate dance here. Ah, yes. As they show off their moves. The mating dance of the Liberator and Spore Crawler. If the Liberator finds the Spore Crawler's dance too enticing, it will not unsiege, and then the Spore Crawler will be able to shoot it down. This is considered acceptable to both parties. But unfortunately, that Spore Crawler with an inappropriate dance, and the Liberator will unsiege and move on with its life. And then get killed by Queens, but such is nature. Overseer. Oh! Ah, yes, the Panic Changeling. The Moopies will get more for their meat for their feast. They feast well on this map. There's so many of them. Hydralisk Den on the way. He's actually getting the ranged attack upgrades as well as roach speed, so going to continue leaning on the roaches in order to get a very quick hive here. Serral at 76 drones. +1 ranged attack, +1 carapace. Already 1-1 done for ByuN. There's a shark! Just like a regular shark. Multiple regular sharks. Moving it. Such is nature. Meanwhile, drop in the main. Double drop, ByuN. No combat shield. Did he forget combat? Oh, he did. He just started it. Oh, no. That hurts a lot, especially when you're going for these drops. You really need to be able to... You need to get that critical mass of Marines, and he's not going to have it. Oh, he definitely forgot it. There's no reason it should be this late after stim. The most common upgrade to forget... Oh, wow, we're even pointing it out with the Observer. The most common thing that Terrans forget, but also the highest impact by far. That combat shields. Because if you stim against +1... he doesn't have +1 melee, but if you stim and don't have combat shield or don't get healed, you die in a single Bema. Which is not ideal. But, that can have a big impact. On top of just having less HP in general, making it that much easier. So ByuN missing a few key things here. Though Serral... Well, Serral's maxed. Roaches and Hydras are not the most supply-efficient units. Roaches especially. But he's already got a hive. He's getting Vipers. He's getting Lurker range. ByuN is making tanks. And he's getting tank upgrades. But by the time the Vipers are juiced up, and the Lurkers have their range, tanks may not be enough, as you need a critical mass of them, like 7, maybe 8. How many does he have? 4, which is less.
The knuckles don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
ByuN picks up, leaving still a feisty army here. They're just metamax with units going every direction. This isn't a airport. Where are we going? Why is there another drop headed the other direction past? Don't worry about it. ByuN picks up and goes to the main. The queens are waiting. Enough of them? I don't think so. 40 supply in those medevacs. And Serral, oh, small counterattack during this. He's gonna lose 1. Can maybe target down the spawning pool before adrenal glands is done. Pretty big impact there. Meanwhile, roaches are cutting off reinforcements. Serral with the smallest possible backstab, but ByuN is holding his ground in the main base. Doing a lot of damage here. +2 armor complete. He gets out with most of his... I can't believe those roaches. Oh, no. The roaches are still alive. ByuN's reinforcements were cut off. That's why his supply is still... Oh, my God. Serral, right as ByuN came in. Those roaches are still going. They're still killing SCVs. This is an absolute disaster for ByuN. No! They killed like tanks, widow mines. They've now killed 10 SCVs. They've done more damage than the entire Doom drop. It was like 12 roaches. Eventually got whittled down somewhat, but... Oh god, Serral is just so good at finding... It's not about how much you bring to the table, it's about the timing. And that timing was better than perfect. That was like both ByuN and Serral combining to make that the best Roach counterattack. And here come the Lurkers. He's already picked apart the tanks that were hung out to dry. But Lurker count is too damn high. 18 Lurkers bearing down on the north side here. And there's really no direct response to it. 4 ghosts, 1 tank. The drops just wandering. This is not an airport. I don't know why drops keep going in random directions. Another tank drawn out and sliced in the air, because I think it technically still counts as a ground unit. It's just the animation. That's just too many Lurkers. And we kind of skipped to this phase. Last game, it took a long while because ByuN had so much he could bring to bear on the map. But this time, Serral goes straight to the Lurkers. understanding that just reaching that critical mass and hitting ByuN before he can build the counter army is probably the best case scenario. Like right now, the snipes are good, but the damage has already been dealt. The Ghost Academy, yeah, might makes a mighty fine wall off right up until it dies and you can't build any more ghosts. I believe that was, and a small counter attack ByuN. I hate to say it, but getting outplayed. He's made mistakes so far in both games. Serral, I don't think there's a single part of these games you could argue was a significant mistake. ByuN kind of playing himself into a corner somewhat, and Serral more than happy to trap him there. Of course, the most dangerous animals are the cornered ones. Not the round, not the trapezoidal. Though I guess those have corners as well. Irrelevant, because ByuN is acutely aware that Serral just has too much. There were 84 Zerglings in production. Serral just... It's... It's tough. Wow. It's not looking easy at all. It's like wrangling a tiger. A tiger who also has like guns that are fitted for tigers, or like neurally linked or something. Like a gun tiger. Or, you know, like, no, I'll stick with that. That's fine. They're they're agile, dangerous, but you know what you know what they want to do. There's some laser beams. Anyways, a laser raptor maybe. Not important. The idea is ByuN is predictable. His unpredictability is predictable. You know he's gonna pick up and try for the main. You know he's gonna try to get damage done with the M&M. If you time those counterattacks essentially perfectly, if you know to build units a little earlier than you usually would, well, Serral shows you can shut it down and take advantage of it. He's using his own aggression against him right now. I should have gone back and watched those roaches. It was so much. That was way too much damage. ByuN clearly not looking that way. He was desperately trying to micro the drop in the main. The timing was impeccable from Serral. I don't even know if ByuN ever realized how much damage those roaches did. Is this 3 right? This is his... I'm down 2-0. He's gonna go 3 Rex Reaper. What year is it? I bet Serral's predicted this. I mean... Oh my god. Wait, does he have speed first? He did it last game, too. He was expecting this at some point. Speed first. He's going to have Zerglings with speed before there's enough Reapers to really deal with it. Once again, laser raptor, but a raptor nonetheless. The jetpacks. And grenades. Well, the thing is, I don't know. I'm fully confident in Serral's ability to deal with it, but ByuN has turned the tides with his Reapers before. So, if there was ever a scenario to make those Reapers work, it is now. If you make one mistake as Zerg, you're behind for a long while. Like, if you take one bad fight and the Reapers just kill half your lings, this is a huge investment from Serral. He needs to deal with the Reapers early. He's essentially trying to sweep the leg here. If the Reapers are able to trade and kill like a dozen Zerglings, Serral's just behind. It is a very thin margin. Okay, here come the Zerglings. I don't, he's literally, that is not metaphorical. He's literally cornered. Like, come on, guys. Life imitates art. Like, He literally cornered himself. And now the add-ons are on the wrong side, though I don't know if he's gonna challenge them. Hey, like and subscribe for metaphors. That wasn't that was literal, by the way. That was not, don't metaphorically do it. Just smash it. Smash it like apparently ByuN's entire tournament run. That wasn't nearly enough of a trade. That was exactly what? He only lost 6 link? I thought it was more than that. It felt like more. He damaged a lot of them. Which doesn't count, by the way. They heal. Slowly, but... ByuN's gonna fall back on a bunch of Marines. With Stim. He doesn't have the tech lab for combat shield so early. Hopefully it is on time. Serral getting a single Evo chambers at 43, going up towards about 50 drones. Are we gonna see medevacs and Marines? I mean, it's ByuN. Baneling Nest on the way. I don't think Banelings, until you can get speed. They're just to provide a target, essentially. Like, if it happens to be Hellbats or just straight up Marines with no medevacs, I don't think Serral is going to plan on Banelings being the strongest part of his defense. Just the sheer amount of units he can build. As long as he's prepared. No combat shield started. ByuN start combat shield! Please! Please. Starts a tank. Combat shield. Thank you. Okay. Well, here are the Marines. Serral making some Zerglings. Is at 54 drones, which is a very middle-of-the-road safe number, considering everything so far. Still has more than enough Queens and Zerglings. Replaces the creep. ByuN sees it. The scan hadn't run out yet. Nothing you can do about it, though. Just aren't enough Marines to deal with it right now. He's getting Carapace, which is your all-around upgrade. I'm trying to open up some more paths here. Baneling speed immediately upon lair finishing. +1 infantry weapons for ByuN. Combat shield soon. So he's made miracles happen with Marines and medevacs. And he's going to need... Oh no. Are the tanks walled in? Oh my god. Serral will... Well, he traps a few Marines. Not a great trade. +1 Carapace, though. If he gets Baneling speed, those tanks are going to be significantly less effective. Between the +5 HP and Carapace. But this is ByuN's best shot. The army supplies are near even. Upgrades are about even. No Baneling speed for close to a minute. Serral just gonna give up the base. He's got an alternative base. He's already retaken. Realizing he needs Bane speed. There's no reason to give ByuN the fight he's looking for right now. Scan spots a few. ByuN knows he's in a precarious position. He knows Serral's running around him. But he wants to take a fight and ideally win it. Or at least make it so costly before he picks up into them. Oh no. Well, this is... Oh no, the tank! He manages to actually lower the barracks, which traps the tank on the wrong side of history. I wonder if he'll just delete his reactor here, because the reactor is what's walling off the tank. Who's trapping who? ByuN? maneuvering very well right now. He's doing a great job. Oh, guns down the banelings, but there's more. One of them gets really close. Target fire on the Banes is amazing. ByuN still retreating. The friendly fire. But the supplies even up because ByuN's micro is second to none. Serral running around off of creep without queen support. You see him, still a dangerous cornered laser raptor. Is ByuN not going to give that up for free? Serral's drone count is actually quite low. ByuN, likely, it's very hard to tell. He doesn't know if Hydras are on the way, if Hive. He doesn't know if Serral's at 60 or 80 drones. He can make educated guesses, but there really is no secondary option, though, for ByuN. He doesn't have a third command center. He's just got to go and try to make something happen. Otherwise, Serral will have those 80 drones, and he will have that Hive, and he will have those upgrades that you just can't deal with. So this is a potentially deadly army. 4 Liberators, overlapping fields of fire here. A whole lot of Marines. Serral looking for the flank. +2 Carapace isn't too far off. A big upgrade. Wow, what a siege from ByuN. +2 Carapace, 5 seconds. I think that's going to be the trigger, as Serral does not want to give up this base. This is a very important one to keep. Well, here we go. Do we? Serral's just holding for so long. The Marines, where do you run? There's no banelings from the south side of this, at least from this angle. But banelings are rolling through past the Liberators. He picks up. Realize that's just far too many Banes. Gonna drop back into the Liberator zones? No, can't quite do so. More Liberators coming up, but the Queen's... Brenda! I know. He's dropping to absorb the Banes and try to zone out the Queens as the Liberators seem to have been the missing ingredient here. More Marines forced back into the medevacs, but the Liberators are adding so much damage to this army. It's so hard for Serral to actually take a fight. He doesn't have the Hydras. Once again, he has to run through the liberation zones. More Liberators chasing down the Queens as the... he's just kind of dipping in and out. He keeps dipping them like a salsa chip right now. In and out of the Lings and Banes and snapping up as many as he can before shoving them right into the unit's loss tab. It's working, though there are Hydras on the way. ByuN didn't kill this seemingly free hatchery. What? No. Oh no, some of the reinforcements getting caught on the way across. Serral has retaken that northern base. He's given up a lot of ground. He's only at 56 drones. Oh no. Oh, that was a bit... Oh, that was a lot, actually. 22 Marines, and the Hydras come out at a very inopportune time. Serral's drone count is actually very low right now. His economy is mediocre. He really needs to take some decisive fights, and I mean, he's sitting on the doorstep of ByuN's base here. He may be able to push through. The Liberators, the door is open, and the banelings are... Oh no, Serral turns it around. ByuN with the strongest attack so far this series, but isn't able to put it all together in time. Serral holds on. Very tenuous in Game 3, but I think clearly had ByuN's number this time around. ByuN showing that he's still one of the best micro Terrans, but... Oh, Serral. As long as Serral only has Terran versus Zerg, I think he's going to find a lot of success in this tournament. Looking forward to Serral versus Maru. Well, hopefully. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. Are we still ringing the bell? Is that still a thing? If it is, well. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Check out this video, Jimmy. Put up there just for you. And I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.